some way to say. Odi for the because me say eja to Accra Central. Na O.Bempah yesi ano kwan. Na amamua. They saw a false prophet because waka. And so the bien one more a Caesar. And you know, what is the validation of a true prophecy? And the other man comes here and comes here. Say abam and I say amam and the money and comes here. To the extent say even before 31st night, you will a lot of interviews are Panamasophobia a granting and Pumo can say they don't believe in 31st night prophecies because
Maminchia wana mesanso ya mwakwaba on black platform so a gossip update so video be able to social media reform a trendy ye pa makofa in something na mpese no jebre ne yako na yakofa in some winche mu embra ya ba na me de hope ya so asanso aka o meslo na unya and subscribe to this platform so meslo na was subscribe and so turn on the bell notification icon I don't want to set their video be about pop it up on your device. Now also when your trending stories need be to me after like na to share video we have come on the bonus to me any trending stories need be into me after Jenfi video and boy ba make am in some beam asanso achero
na fansa gubo da so na fansa gubo good Osofo Hwana ye sofo pani wa ha. Eyewa, hwana ye wabedi achiri. Bra. Abedi achiri. Good. Tamani Yesusa no, ni etimi ka bibi kama, hwana di sa agro ni bida. Kama me ya papa. Kama asoso ye mame. Hwana di sa agro ni bi. Kama uyirini ona ayadan pani ena ayadan abedi achiri kama uyirini ya mompa yentia saadi kama uyirini na cha se kama uyirini first lady enti kwa bi so ya beka second lady ana meboa sawo no osofo pani ni ena wo ya sofo abedi achiri enti sofo wiyire eye first lady anwo yire yeden second lady thank you good ya be bompa yetia afei maame sorry na kotranse afei mosumo kotranse na cha say ya be bompa ye prayer request maame nyame israel now afei ebia de etwa tuo nie na daso na fansa gubo fansa gubo good Osofo Hwana ye sofo pani wa ha. Eyewa, hwana ye wabedi achiri. Bra. Abedi achiri. Good. Tamani Yesusa no, ni etimi ka bibi kama, hwana di sa agro ni bida. Kama me ya papa. Kama asoso ye mame. Hwana di sa agro ni bi. Kama uyirini ona ayadan pani ena ayadan abedi achiri kama uyirini ya mompa yentia saadi kama uyirini na cha se kama uyirini first lady enti kwa bi so ya beka second lady ana meboa sawo no osofo pani ni ena wo ya sofo abedi achiri enti sofo wiyire eye first lady anwo yire yeden second lady thank you good ya be bompa yetia Afei, Mammy, sorry, na kotransi. Afei, Muslim kotransi. Natural say, yeah, Babon Pie, a prayer request. Mammy, Yamishra.
All right, so Yamisha will be our Missami now. But say, didn't come up a credit. I see your line is always busy on Kafra. I mean, himself, I don't know if you can hear me, but the Lord bless you and keep you for joining today's broadcast. It's been very long. We had a chat. Then I see a Dinkomoka credit. It's about the speculative issue about Prophet Fire Uja. Prophet Baby Obiano, Michiao, Unia Ketua, Medinchia Cassiedi, Edema. About your video, national accounts of share. No, I share my first way in share. I believe everybody can hear me. You can hear me loud and clear. Now, over the past years, there's always been a whole lot of complacency when it comes to the prophetic ministry. When it comes to the prophetic ministry, in a sense, and KOFI said this particular ministry has sparked a lot of controversy in the atmosphere. I'm going to be very brief and be very precise as well. Sometimes we all have to learn from different sides, from different notions and from different notes. Walker Stone, God bless you. I didn't come. Let me show you be share. Na eya nan krofo etai bisase. Aso adai asofo no anase edifo no. Omo hu na de yi. Time on air professional na etai kan se mi se odifo hyenkom na ebemu a omo se a prophet of doom because onyame yi kiren want to me ensi anokwan. Now again se ohuna de no so na Obompah ye wo ho na anusia the Adepa no say and commissioner end to me amam. Now I want you to take these two notes. Fakwa dingirimi you. Say odifo no say eja ato Accra Central. Na Obompah ye esi ano kwan a ye beka say commissioner and commissioner amam. Fakwa dingirimi. The same way to say odifo ne beka say me say eja to Accra Central. Na Obompah ye si ano kwan na amamua ye so a false prophet because waka and so bibia no no ma esisa. And you know what is the validation of a true prophecy? And the other man come say yen come say abam ana say amam and the man yen come say to the extent say even before 31st night you will a lot of interviews Yeba Panama so phobia a granting Yampumo can say they don't believe in 31st night prophecies because Omudomu Fise Yamit Mikasa any day and any time. A statement of fact. Now your BB Honoma a truth but a reality. And a BB also a reality but a truth. And a sang said, "No man is house of one Nagri." Why? Because on one saw them our program be away. Our two things a shenkom. Now, Addington amongst all the days, thank you yourself. I mean, I mean, Kasaka credit. Addington amongst all the year, amongst all the days, on your program throughout, I had two things a shenkom and now prophesy. Now, a specific time in a season, our now so we are Ogada prophets. Say among Gada. Na onyamenam edifo no so nka ono no tiri mu po enfranchire asoremani na enkasa program no it can be any other day even on a normal Sundays because so onyame to me kasa anytime awo ba bia dia then he should be able to speak at any time or any moment in the church, not when you organize specific programs whereby men of God come to preach, they prophesy and they even raise seats in order to build the church. Now, what point am I coming to? A day Jesus, a call be possible Obompah. Now, go back to me to Yamene. ɛwɔ fam but ɔkɔ bepɔ so adentina wɔn nyina bepɔ n'ase ɛna onyankopɔn ankasa no one to onyamene. When you even study the journey of Jesus with his disciples, and ya abribia no kadi ejane kachre womo. Atoda bia oni asuafo no mu bi emrebim in time, in precision, and in moments. Etumi fruko baabi amomutumi wo nyame enemonyam even at the time of transfiguration. The transfiguration didn't happen more than once. It happened only once at a specific point in time when Elias and Moses appeared. And a for Baruka say, Erade, Kabeya, yensi 3 tabernacles. Baku enya Elias dia, Baku enya Moses dia, not Baku so enya dia. Why? Because he saw something that was unusual, that did not happen by chance, but in a moment or in a space of time, and he wanted to implement that for the rest of the days. It was say, yensi 3 tabernacles. Tienio, yensi 3 tabernacles. And in the Sobimpo Kase, on your 31st night prophecy, ni adding, I am 31st in Kwana a D4, a Huna dear Shankomua, meaning the panel yadre, and a sign say, Ye Mrs. Sour D4 now or Shan come 31st night. I at 31st night in Kwan or Shan Komwana. Dabi, and Yanum, and Idiamuno Bo Council. And Yama Mian Sabitaisi Bronsam, our Nipa, I want him in every year. Onyame, our Nipa etipo every year. And a Nipan Kasan so or no Kasan, Nitimupo every year. Now, maybe so as a normal human being. There is something we call a New Year resolution. Things you want to see in the coming year. Other than aside resolutions in the own throne in January. Even as a woman that is preparing for the week in order to prepare food in the fridge. I thought that be a to me kind. I'm going to do a Friday a year weekend. Now what to me at drafting near. O person what talk. Now the year Gianni. As a fridge within weekend. Now I know ma to me and your beardy. I didn't tell I won't say every day Biani you draft what you want to eat. It means that there are agendas both in the calendar of men, in the calendar of God, and in the calendar of the devil. It is so deep for me. I just saw them. And with the calendar of the devil in the new coming year. And no interest or no deep for the part. No. A deep for Nankasa no Mukasetia say. Adena Asofoni be share and come 31st night. They have their New Year resolutions. Some of them have their building projects in mind. So from January to April. But say you see a show dino. You're roofing. Now, I didn't tell say any other day can be used for building. It's a year nano, resolution but we want to build throughout the year. And sometimes these powerful revelations are and forward concerning Omuankasamu resolution. I told the beer on Yami to me down and say, I fear Yebesimono, where why you saw Beko Ghana, but Menko. Ko or how dear man Yebesi. I ban and send a Nippon say, or they share a film. Our time of planning here, not only intercepting 3 things: the plan of man, the plan of God, and the plan of the devil. And way it builds up the totality of a man, how you survive, how you make it, or how you fall in destiny. First of all, and will be now down. Now, Adia say, in the 5-fold ministry, it is a crime and against ministerial ethics to define a field you are not. Who a lawyer near, be a lawyer. Who a gynecologist, be a gynecologist. Who a evangelist, be an evangelist. And you're dangerous. So you show emotions and wisdom. As an evangelist say, who the church a deep for you medium. Even with the prophet, there are things God can decide to reveal to you, and you can decide not to say it. Obey to me, there are things you can see spiritually, and even God himself can decide to tell you keep quiet until the appointed time. I was saying, oh, Jamaya Jirimudo, they are very sensitive. Who a singer, and then avoid that canoe. Be a singer. Who are usher, be an usher. Wherever you find yourself in ministerial post, I'm a commissioner and IGP Juma. My IGP Nyana Juma, not commissioner Nyana Juma, serious Nyana Juma, national security Nyana Juma. Because every national security can decide to embark on an operation at a time. Any policy for adjoining the pet, but who know your policy, you know, who to meet national security in a Juma. We should all respect our various field of ministry. Embrace it with all humility. Cordially come together through separation of powers and lift up the kingdom of heaven. Makasadi was several times. If you are interviewed as an evangelist, maybe say prophet who wants them. Now when you say to me kabibi mani shenya media ni munyamwa, keep quiet. Let me say this. The media can never be a friend to the church. But trust me, the same people in the media that are castigating the church, you know, they are church members in other churches. And they don't like the ministries of other people. Any man of God that becomes too much media friendly, say, Onyami Frewa, you end up in a ditch. What I always say is, the church must have bloggers on its own. We must have Christian platforms that are built in capacity and in power to stand for the church. Tama TB Joshua, we know. Tio, ye know be a man defendant. But oh, we are sorry, or be any phenomenon. But oh, you know, the pastors realized that the attack on TB Joshua was not about TB Joshua, but it was about the church. So they now single out TB Joshua and now begin to fight for the church using the same TB Joshua. Little did they know, say, when TB Joshua was alive, if indeed he was from God, and where he stood to speak was in the corridors of God, defending TB Joshua at that time was defending the church. Now, how do you differentiate between TB Joshua and the church? And now say, now we have seen that BBC is coming after the church, so we are now defending TB Joshua. No, the church is bigger than TB Joshua. But without TB Joshua, there is no church. They may come on to us here. I just said, Udu baby and son here. Now, I am a pastor. And I make up the church. When you defend me, you have defended the church. Now, when you leave me to die, and you now realize that those that came after me for my death are now coming after the building that has been built with the hand. It's after they may be defend the building now. Which is the building that is made with mortar and clay. Why are you important? I symbolize the spiritual part of the church. So whoever that was not able to defend TB Joshua when he was alive cannot defend him whilst he is dead. But if you defend him now, you are not defending the church. Because the real church that was TB Joshua, if in quote he was from God, is dead and gone. In the physical form of death, but in the spiritual form, he is alive. Imagine TB Joshua, wherever he is. Now we are also Kwabano. So but if he paid his dues to God very well, baby, one on here so be defending him. But he's already living in eternity and in glory. You see, our problem as a church today is say, we think that when we bring people's mortal body down, there is nothing wrong with it. But when we defend the cement that have been used, the roofing that have been used, that is when we are defending the church. No, the church is not the roofing. The church is the individual that stand to proclaim the gospel. So when you come publicly and you have to say anything against anybody that stands in the physical church, that is the spiritual church, you have to be very careful. For at the point, people can take away the physical part and go after the spiritual part. And you are the spiritual form of the church. So we saw them altar. It is your prayer, your sacrifice, your dedication that makes the prayer altar powerful. Without you, there is no prayer altar. So when you neglect me and tell me that you are defending the altar that is made out of stones, then you are not defending anything. One thing we must understand, that every genuine man of God is part of our kingdom. The reason why we call it a kingdom simply means a king in his domain. So the king is Jehovah himself, Yahweh himself, and we are part of that kingdom. We are part of that domain. So we need to stand with each other. Enjoy evangelists. Okotra baby dey beside be about the prophet. Onim say a prophet O.Bempah and no diwele no. But onim say prophet Isaac O.Bempah symbolizes the spiritual part of the church. No about be defending or no because officer onuna saw that no jim no and had the holy of holies. No. You cannot help the church. Whoa.
We be seeing phone to wear in some kakra. If you social media trendy only me etumi ajebre akofwe emu insam etumi abai video akofwe by maslow say o nsem bi yakafa ho na wo de afa e comment section ho masanso aslow say like na sanso share video we have come on you want to me training stories ni bi etumi enhwe so wonya and subscribe to maslow na wa subscribe and so turn on the bell notification icon so there video bi aba ho sa ebetumi aka be na wo so etumi ahwe da fofo no masanso and we be this year makaram